Hello, and welcome to another day of Living with Spina Bifida. I thought today would be a little bit of an inspirational, positive little talk to the Spina Bifida community and the rest of the community, because I've been hearing a lot of negative talk, a lot of negative thoughts coming from the Spina Bifida community on whether or not they think they could live a happy, productive, successful life. And they are thinking, if I was born able-bodied, if I was not born with spina bifida, maybe I would have an awesome job. I would be successful. I could have gone to college. Maybe I would have gotten married. I could have kids. I would be living in a house if I wasn't disabled. If I didn't use a wheelchair. This is the thought process that goes on in a lot of people with disabilities' minds. And it just breaks my heart. It really does. Because, yes, it can happen. I am married. I have had 2 kids. I live in a home without my parents. I have a job. I've gone to school. I've had numerous jobs, volunteering and paid jobs. I've traveled. I've traveled to other countries. I've done so many amazing things with my life because it's my life. I can't live my life if I'm just sitting there waiting for something better to happen. Or maybe if I didn't have spina bifida, maybe I could be a manager of a daycare center. I went to school for child development. Maybe if I wasn't disabled, maybe I would be doing something so much better with my life than I am now. Maybe if I wasn't disabled, I would have so much more money. Maybe I would be off doing amazing, wonderful, fantastic things. But guess what? I've already done amazing, wonderful, fantastic things with my life while having the disability. It has nothing to do with the disability. I'm not trying to tell you your life is wrong, but your thought process is wrong. I don't want to get harsh on you, but if you have a crappy attitude, you're gonna have a crappy life. If you're sitting there waiting for things to get easier, if you're sitting there waiting for you to not have struggles, you're gonna just waste your life away. If you're just sitting there waiting for things to happen, it's not gonna happen. You have to make them happen. And I understand a lot of these negative thoughts come from the way we were raised. A lot of parents either do not let their disabled children live life. They basically live life for them. The parents live their life for the child. They don't let them fail. They don't let them struggle. They don't let them try. They just get everything done for them. And then they grow up, they never leave home, and they just expect to always get everything done for them. And if they want to try something, it's just not going to happen because it's going to be hard. And they just don't know how to struggle. They don't know how to take life by the horns and just get it done. People in their life never taught them how to live. And that is a big part of the negative thoughts in the community, is the families hold them back. And I know a lot of people that have families that just support the living heck out of them. They never treated them any different. They never treated them like there was something wrong with them. They never treated them like they were going to break. They never treated them like they were any different than anybody. And then they went off to live happy, successful, amazing lives because they knew how. And they knew that they could because they weren't any different than anyone else. They just did things differently than everyone else. And that's really all you have to think about is everyone struggles, but your struggles are valid and you are allowed to have bad days. You are allowed to have struggles, but you can't let that be the only thing that you do is have problems and think negatively, because that's going to be your life. If you think, I can never do this, I will always fail, I am never going to be anything great, you're going to be right. Because if you don't start turning your mind around and start thinking positively, it won't happen. Another thing I think is an issue in the disability community altogether, not just spina bifida, any disability, is society's thought on people with disabilities. We're kind of still treated a little bit like we are lesser. We aren't that great. We aren't that important. We don't matter as much to society. It's getting a little better. More people with injuries, more people with amputations, more people with mental issues, more people with Down syndrome are coming into the spotlight in a positive way, and they're being looked at as inspirational and positive people. More people are getting the idea that disabilities aren't really that gross or scary or bad. And I think that's helping the community because I know a lot more people are doing positive things with their lives. I don't see it as much. I don't do it as much. The negative thoughts, the negative life. I used to be the same way. I was stuck. Everything was an excuse. Oh, because of my disability, this didn't happen. Because of my disability, I can't do this, I can't do that, nothing's ever gonna turn out right. And I just blamed everything on my disability, and I never did anything to improve my life. But I started getting rid of the negative people in my life, and if I couldn't get rid of all of them, I just kind of distanced myself away from them as much as possible. And I started surrounding myself with positive people. I started finding more support in the internet areas, Facebook groups. They have been very helpful. I've been reading more. I've been doing a lot more positive things. And if you just stop thinking negatively, you will stop acting negatively. The long story short is what I want people to realize is you are in a wheelchair. Yes. Okay, you have physical limitations. Yes. But you can go to college. It may be hard. You may need help. You may need tutors. You may need assistance in every area, but you can do it. You want to get a job. Okay, you can get a job. I realize, oh boy, do people discriminate against people with disabilities? It's illegal to do so, but a lot of businesses still find ways around it to not hire people with physical disabilities. But if you put your mind to it and you are positive about getting a job and you really want it, people will see right through the disability and they will hire you because of you, and they know that you are right for the job. So if you just don't let the negative things get in your way, don't let failure stop you. Okay, you didn't get the job. All right. Get your skills a little higher. Try again. Try a different place. Try at the same place another time. Okay, you have gone on dates after dates after dates after dates, and you just find all of the losers in the world, and you can't trust men again. You can't trust women ever again because you just keep getting let down. No, that's not how it works. Just because you are disabled, and just because there are jerks out there that will not want to be around you because of your disability, who are basically afraid of your disability, does not mean that every man and every woman sucks out there. Just because you got torn down once, this can actually go for anyone. Just because you found a bad one doesn't mean you're always going to find a bad one. They're not all bad. I have been married for 8 years. I found my husband on the internet, and I wasn't even looking. It wasn't even on a dating site. I found my husband online. We weren't even trying, to fall in love. It just happened. And 8 years later, here we are. We are still married. We are still happy. And shocker, he's able-bodied. There's nothing physically wrong with him at all. Never questioned my disability. I brought it up right away. No big deal. And yes, it can happen for everyone. Sometimes you just have to look a little harder each time you're looking. Each person is different. Each person is going to have their own preferences and their own taste in men or women. And it might be a little harder for you to find someone. But just because it's hard doesn't mean it's impossible. It will happen if you let it happen. Don't let the failures, don't let the bad eggs get you down. Don't let the negativity make you think that you can't live your life. Okay, so you want to have children. Can't have children. I'm disabled. Can't have children. I have spina bifida. I'm in a wheelchair. Hi, I have had 2 kids. One of them is not living now, but I have a 6-year-old boy. Had him myself. He came out of my body. Doing just fine. I have spina bifida, and I have a child. It's possible. It was brutal. It was painful. Being pregnant was the worst thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. But just because it was hard doesn't mean it was impossible. I got it done. I had a kid. Sure, he drives me bananas a lot. Sure, it's hard being a parent, but guess what? It's hard being a parent for everyone. It's just a hard job. But it's possible. It's awesome. And you can get it done if you really want to. Adoption is always an option. Surrogacy. There's always a way to have a family. Okay, so in conclusion, just because you are in a wheelchair, just because you are physically limited, does not mean your life is limited. You can't let negativity, you can't let these bad thoughts live your life. Because whose life is this? It's yours. Only yours. You do what you want to do with your life. You want to do something? Do it. It's going to be hard. I know. And if you ever need support, if you don't have support, I'm here. I would love to be your support. I just wish and hope and dream that this little rambling of a video would help someone get a little bit of a spark of positivity in their brain, and they want to try and live a better life, live a more positive, live a more productive life, one step at a time. It's not all going to come to you at one time. But if you need help and you don't have the help, I would love to help you in any way that I can. As long as we get at least one person trying to change their life, trying to get those positive ideas into their head, I can have a happy day. Because that's all I've ever wanted for this channel, is to bring positivity to disabilities.